Hello everyone and good afternoon. It's Rachel here live from 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐴 Studios. It's lunchtime here in Sydney and you know what that means. It's time for the Mid-Market Pulse. Let us zoom our lens on the Australian share market performance midway through the day. Australian shares are continuing to trade higher by afternoon, reversing losses suffered over the last 2 days. The market witnessed broad-based buying with all sectoral indices trading in the green, led by energy and telecom stocks. The S&P ASX 200 was trading higher by 87 points or 1.2% by lunch. Early today, the index opened higher, tracking strong cues from Wall Street and rallied as much as 1.4%. On the COVID front, Victoria recorded 22 new local cases as the state begins its second week of lockdown. Moving on to the sectoral front, all the 11 sectors are currently trading in the green. Energy was the best performer with 1.9% gain, followed by AREITs, which rose 1.7%. Among others, materials, financials, consumer discretionary, healthcare and IT stocks were trading higher with over 1% gain. Let us turn our attention to the biggest gainers and the losers that captured investors' attention in the mid-market session. Australian multinational contractor the CIMIC Group was the top percentage gainer on the ASX so far today, rising over 5%. That's after a strong earnings result. Some of the other notable gainers were miner Pilbara Minerals, automotive retail group Eagers Automotive, retailer and mining firm Lynas Rare Earths, and global online marketplace Redbubble saw their shares on the rise. Software firm ALTIUM was the top loser on the ASX, with their shares falling 3.7%. Some of the other worst performers include Domino's Pizza, gold producer Westgold Resources, miner St Barbara and gold miner Evolution Mining. On this note, let us shift focus to stocks that are creating a buzz today. Shares of the world's biggest miner, BHP, rose 1.7% to $50 after a report that it might sell its oil and gas business. The petroleum business is estimated to be worth $15 billion or more, according to a Bloomberg report. The exit from the oil and gas business will help iron ore miner to focus on commodities. Shares of software firm ALTIUM extended their losses for the third straight session, falling 3.7% to $33.37. The stock remained under pressure after the company failed to secure a takeover bid from US peer Autodesk. The tech giant Autodesk has formally confirmed it had ended takeover talks with ALTIUM weeks after the Australian firm rejected its $5.05 billion offer. Now, before we look at some more shares that are in the news today, it's time for a very short break. Stay with us.
Property by 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐴. Looking for a dream home? Well, that may sound easy, but it isn't. And from looking for a property that is the right fit for you in terms of cost and other factors, to zeroing down on the right mortgage plan, there are various aspects to consider. And for the latest slowdown in the property market, tune in on 𝐊𝐴𝐴 TV with me, Sage. I will give the latest updates on the property market as well as real estate stocks to help you make the right decision. Keep watching Property with 𝐊𝐴𝐴.
Hello, this is Rachel live from 𝐊𝐴A Studios and you're watching the Mid-Market Pulse. Let us look at some more shares that are creating a buzz today by lunchtime. Shares of software platform Whisper surged almost 6% to $2.79. That's after the company issued its quarterly business update. The firm has reported an operating cash loss of $3.3 million and sales of $46.2 million for financial year 2021. The annualized recurring revenue rose 28.5% compared to previous corresponding quarter. It added a net 51 new customers over the June quarter to take total customers to 801. Oil and gas major Beach Energy's released its fourth quarter earnings report. The energy firm posted a 7% growth in sales revenue at $421 million as compared to the prior quarter. The rise in revenue is attributed to an increase in the realised oil price, which surged 10%. For the full financial year 2021, revenue dropped by 8% compared to the previous fiscal year. The share price of the CIMIC Group climbed over 5% after the multinational contractor released half-yearly earnings report. The group revenue rose 10.6% for the 6 months ending 30th of June. Net profit stood at $208 million, down from $317 million a year before. The company has also maintained its 2021 financial year profit guidance following robust earnings in the first half of the year. Shares of e-commerce retailer Kogan.com were trading 1.3% higher at $11.88. That's after they issued their business update for June. Trading performance in June saw an improvement in delivered gross sales, gross profit and operating profit as compared to April and May. Active customers grew by 46% to 3.2 million at Kogan.com and 746,000 for Mighty Ape. Mighty Ape is Kogan's online retail site based in New Zealand. And construction engineering company ServiceStream has agreed to acquire Lendlease Services for $310 million. Lendlease is a national service provider in the telecommunication, utilities and transport sectors. The transaction, which is expected to complete before the end of calendar year 2021, is subject to conditions including client and third-party consents. ServiceStream entered a trading halt ahead of a capital raising. Shares of gold explorer Marvel Gold gained almost 2% to 5.4 cents. That's after it provided an update on a spin-out of its Chilalo graphite project in Tanzania in Africa. The proposed spin-out and IPO of its wholly owned subsidiary Evolution Energy Minerals is at an advanced stage, just waiting on final in-country regulatory approvals. And lastly, Atlas Arteria shares rose over 1% to $6.38 so far today after they released their toll revenue and traffic statistics for the June quarter. Atlas is a global operator, owner and developer of toll roads. Data released shows encouraging signs of improvement compared to figures in May. That's following the easing of COVID-19 restrictions across Europe. Weighted average traffic was 68.5% higher in the June quarter compared to the same period last year. Now let's have a quick glance at the global equity market performance. Global markets ended higher on Tuesday, recovering from a sharp sell-off in the previous session. That was on fears of the COVID-19 resurgence. The major US and European closed higher amid optimism over corporate earnings. In the overnight trade, US stocks surged as upbeat earnings reports boosted investors' confidence. Now let's turn our heads east to the Asian markets. Most of the regional stocks were trading higher in opening deals, tracking firm cues from Wall Street. Japan's Nikkei was the best performer in the region, rising over 1.2%, while the Straits Times in Singapore gained 0.5%. In a similar trend, Hong Kong's Hang Seng was up 0.3% and Taiwan's weighted stock index surged 0.65%. Meanwhile, China's Shanghai Composite traded marginally lower, while Seoul's Kospi was down 0.2%. That's all for now. Keep watching Calgine TV as we bring you the latest news, trending market updates live from Sydney. I'm Rachel, signing off for now.